Hi everyone, it's Cindy and I'm here today with a special video. This is going to be a fun little video. So it's that time of year again for the spring sale in my shop. All of my journals, every single one in the shop is going to be 25% off from now until April the 8th. You don't need a code. Yeah, just hop on over to my Etsy shop, which is linked down below in the description box. So I'm here to do just a little quick preview of what I have, because I have quite a few. It's time to clear the shelves a little bit if I can. I have a lot of fairy journals right now. So sometimes what happens when you make a series of journals is like a bunch will sell and then a bunch won't sell because, you've appealed to your audience who are into that theme. So that being said, I think there's also some journals that, I don't know why they haven't sold. They're so lovely. So let's just take a quick look. Okay, so first we have The Adventures of Pip. This is in the vintage Enid Blyton book, which is a really beautiful book. This really got me on my fairy journal making kind of mission, and it's such a pretty little book. So in this series of journals, I used a authentic vintage photo, and I added little fairy wings to the people in the photo to kind of tell a little story. So there are original book pages from the book in this journal. I won't do full flip throughs because this video will take forever, and if you're looking for the full flip through, you can find it in the Etsy listing in my Etsy shop, but also if you just search on my YouTube channel and you want to look at, fairy journals, if you search for Pip, you will find this one. But it is just, these journals are just really fun, and they're stuffed with all sorts of lovely things. I had a really great time making them. This one in particular makes me quite happy because of the amazing original illustrations from this book. So there's that one, and that is The Adventures of Pip. So we'll just tie this one up, and let me see. Yeah, I'll just go to the next one that's close to me so we can clear a little space here. So this one is just a little Away to California, and it's actually just kind of a basic naked little journal. I used what the book cover as the end paper on this side, and then the old book like copyright page 1961 on this side, and this is just full of mostly blank paper. Just pretty, some really fun like grungy eco dyed paper too. Just coffee dyed pages, original book pages. So it's pretty much a naked, botanically printed journal. Yeah. Then let's go to these. So these are traveler's notebooks. I did a huge number of these, so it's not surprising to me that there's still a few left. So this one, Promise That She Shall Grow, or Until One Day. I don't know what I call this one, but you'll find it in the traveler's notebooks in my shop. So these I did as part of a series where I taught you how to make this traveler's notebook, and these are utterly so fun and busy and stuffed with things and different techniques and authentic vintage ephemera, lots of handmade and different cool stuff. That's a Botero image there, and an old slide image. Like, just a really fun book, and I've used these now a couple of times when I go on trips, and I'm telling you, they are so nice to have when you go on go for like a little week away. It's a small little journal you can carry with you, but it's got lots of fun surprises. They're eclectic and interesting and colorful, and they're just really lovely. I can't say enough good things about this style of journal. These little pockets I patchworked and stitched. They're quite fun. So that's this one. Just wrap it back up here. Tie it closed. All sorts of fun things you can see that are hanging out of it. There you go. And this one, Honeybees Were Flying By. And this one's a really sweet one too. So the tie is this little yellow seam binding, and that just goes behind us so. And again, just fun side pocket here. Lots of vintage, interesting kind of stuff. Oops. There we go. Very fun to go away and have this kind of thing on a little trip. Lots of different kinds of dynamic ephemera, because I was kind of showing people how to do many different things when I was making these. Okay, so we'll tie her up again. Okay. And then this one is cut out paper dolls. It's this beautiful owl on the front. These are collaged covers. They're fun. And again, just lovely old pictures. Lots of collaging. Fabric. This is like has an acetate window, this envelope, this little peekaboo kind of page. Lots of little tiny things in a big stuffed pocket. Cluster pockets and fun beeswax seal and lots of little flip outs and things, children's book pages, old yearbooks, stamping. Oh yeah, these were the heartbreak tags that I made. So you see blue and red stitches here, and this was like a breakup, like a heartbreak tag. I remember making those and these. You can do so much stuff with like vintage yearbooks. I love using them. Okay, so that's cut out paper dolls. Okay, and then this book. This one I'm so surprised it hasn't sold. I love this journal. Like, it's so much fun. I actually did a mosaic, a real mosaic with antique china. This was a plate with this beautiful rose print on it. And it's in black grout on the front of an exquisite old book. I mean, hopefully you can see under the gold the embossing on this book. I mean, this really beautiful spine for it, and it's a tea themed book. And this was actually a design team project for Release the Crafton for one of her kits that she did. It was a tea themed kit, and it's just so fun. And I made these specimen cards with tea, and there's lots of lovely photography in here from a vintage tea book. All sorts of nice elements, tarot cards, and this beautiful paper is from the kit. Little tea card with a little stamp, wax seal on there rather. Just lots of beauty in this book. I feel like this one definitely needs to go home with someone because it's beautiful. It would be a lovely tea tasting type notebook. You know, you could write about, you know, your tea parties or your gatherings, and or do whatever you like, really. You don't have to listen to me, obviously. There's lots of little beads on all of these, and they're beautiful. Like, these are semi-precious stones. That right here. Fun ephemera. Lots of dyed paper. I'm just kind of going every few pages because this would take a long time. Yeah. So yeah, that book is just, I love it. I think it's a beautiful book. And I hope it goes home with someone because it's just, it needs its home. Okay, so that one. So now I'll jump into some of the fairy journals. So there's a few of them, quite a few of them. So there's this one, the green one. And the spine dangles on these are just, they're beautiful. I have to say I used a lot of gorgeous things in them. So each one of these, like I said, they have the fairies on the authentic vintage photo at the beginning. Kind of tells a little story. And there is amazing paper in all of these books. We have Edith Holden. We have tarot cards, lots of Cecile Mary Barker, lots of botanicals, lace and nature themes, lots of fairy things. Obviously, that's a Wendy Froud fairy. Yeah, I took from a lot of sources to make these books. Lots of botanical dyed papers. Yeah. Fabric flips with a Cecily Mary Barker fabric. This beautiful paper. I've got some really nice, this is what I was calling my fairy paper because it's just sparkly and beautiful. And then some of my botanical dyed papers. We have a green man here. Coloring book pages. This sparkly fairy kind of organza. Yeah, the more I look at these now, because I haven't seen them in a while, I really love these. These are such pretty books. I loved making them. I had a lot of fun making them, and I made, I think there were 16 when I got finished making them. And yeah, so that is probably why there are still some here, because I just made a ton of fairy books because they're just so inspiring to me. I think fairies are a very fun and inspiring theme. So that's the green one. Okay. And then the pink one. So these books are hand painted. I should have showed the covers to you, but yeah, they all have something on the back and a little saying. And then the spines are, they have a little saying, and they're all decoupaged as well. Again, with the really pretty spine dangle. And they all have these vintage photograph album floral frames, and then inside a Cecily Mary Barker image of a fairy. And again, there's a little girl there that I've made into a fairy. So yeah, lots of fun again in these, in this one. It's hard not to do like a full flip through because once I get into the book, I'm so interested in seeing what I did here. Some of my hand spun yarn, stenciling. I had a lot of fun with that. Poetry. And if you go to my Etsy shop, you'll see in the listing that the link to the flip throughs are always there. I mean, almost always. I also used some Teal and Tattered kits in these, or her fairy kit, because it was really pretty. Amity Bloom. More Cecily Mary Barker fabric. This fun printed vellum that I printed. Really sweet, like, images from books, like this little deer. Very fun, complex pockets and things. Painting. Lots of things to read. Beautiful paper. So that's the pink one. I'll just tie that closed again. Okay, and then this is the Acorn Fairy. So this is a fatter book. Again, same sort of theme to it. Not a spine dangle, but a really beautiful lace that I painted in bronze. And then we have this gem on the back here. It's, hopefully you can see, it's very shiny and beautiful. Okay, and this is hand spun yarn that I've used to create a tie to tie this book closed. And there's our fairy. Yeah, this one's really pretty. Lots of Wendy Froud fairies. Cicely Mary Barker. Lots of pretty lace. And vellum. More botanically dyed papers. Avocado dyed paper. So you'll see these are very busy, lots of ephemera, lots of color. This one had these fun tip outs. Lots of really beautiful fairy art. And all different themes, so it's not just like one, type of fairy in these books, all different kinds of things going on. All that fairy paper, so sparkly. Yep. Okay. So that's the Acorn Fairy. Okay, and then this yellow one, it's the spine dangle, all sorts of fun things. Again, there are full videos on all these journals, so I'm not going to do like a huge explanation. I just wanted to give you a preview of what is in my shop, so that if you're interested in heading on over to check out the sale, you know what you're looking at and what to look for. There's a certain book. There's many more of you here now than when I made these, so hopefully these journals appeal to someone new who hasn't seen them. Also, I know it's hard to see everything and know everything in general with like YouTube videos and shop updates and stuff, because yeah, it's hard to track all that sort of thing. And I'm sometimes very good at like putting it out there when I do things. Other times I'm not. It just depends on what's going on that day and how much time I have to kind of say, hey, I did this thing. Come look. Yeah. Oh, there's so much fun stuff in here. Pretty handmade paper. Field guide pages. Okay. I've left these ties extra long too, so if these journals want to grow, they can. And then the orange one here. All the fairies in the land. Spine dangle. Oops. There's our little grandmother fairy. ephemera. All these rainbow fairies. So such a beautiful fabric. Pansies, little flower. The pages are all different sizes and shapes, and it's so fun. You up again. Okay. And then we have the puzzle journals. So these ones are fairy journals as well, spine dangles. This is dyed, coffee dyed lace. And these ones have puzzles on the front that are fairy puzzles that I put together. I actually painted some clouds on this one and added brads, and the whole thing is sealed down. So we have this beautiful book. And this is a larger book. Where's our little fairy here? Same kind of themes. Again, I don't want to do like a full flip through because I've already done a full flip through of these. Stencils, all sorts of fun. It's nice to flip through the journals that you've made again later on and just kind of look at your work. It's quite inspiring. Makes you remember, you know, I remember I made these. These were little bubble wrap sunflower middles. So that's this one. I think this one's called the Moon Fairy. And if you have any questions for me at all, just leave me a comment. I'm happy to answer them. This is another puzzle front. This one has a really pretty spine dangle. Lots of blues and coppers and things. This one I think is the Swan Fairy. Yeah, so it's another puzzle front. And we have a fairy riding a swan and the baby fairies on the swans. Just a beautiful hand-painted book. And there's our little fairy image. Lots of things in here. Sparkles. This is like a card that I made using like a thread card, a thread sample card. It's real birch bark in there. Moth Fairy. Some of my hand spun yarn. This is a book from a local author. An image from the book. Coloring book pages. That's the Swan Puzzle Journal, Fairy Journal. Okay, and one more fairy journal, I think. Maybe another, I can't remember. I think this is the last one. This is the Kitten Fairy. And this is a large book, you'll see. And we have a kitten and fairies, and it's another puzzle on a hand-painted book with a beautiful spine. And there's our fairy. And this is actually Cicely Mary Barker. And this is a nice big book if you're looking for a big fairy journal. There's some very special ephemera in here that I've made. I mean, that's true for all of them, to be honest. There's a lot of special ephemera that I've made. All sorts of things. I love this toad. Look at that fabric, isn't that stunning? This is botanically dyed by me with rusty cogs and things. Vintage fabric with beautiful embroidery. Cabbage dyed paper. Yeah, so that's the Kitten Fairy. Okay. And then, this is one of the sweetest little books I think I've ever made, The Teddy Bears on a Toboggan. And this is a beautiful old book. I used the book is from 1907, and I used the ephemera, or sorry, the pages of the book to make the ephemera. It's such an old book, and it's so cute. I tried to keep some of the fun little pages in it, and I had a lot of fun making the tabs. 1907. And this one's kind of, you know, a little bit more of a plain journal. It's not super stuffed with ephemera, but it does have a good amount. This was in my earlier journal making days, so it's not the same as my style is now, but I honestly look at this book and I want to harken back to doing something. Definitely these kind of fun little tabs that I did from a naughty book. So it's got lots of music and scrapbook paper. I feel like this is a journal you really could personalize quite a lot. I put a lot of sweet things in it, like this is from a Romper Room coloring book. These are some of my jelly printed pages. Doily, Richard Scarry, kind of a childhood nostalgia type themed book. Very cute. Yeah, so it's a sweet little book, and put a lot of signatures in it. I forget how many. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 signatures in this little one. So. And then this is another little traveler's notebook. And I don't know what I called this one, but you'll see. If you go through the shop, you will find all of these things. So this one has a little pocket on the front with this journal card in it. Little windows, and it's a little collage. The whole cover is a collage and has pocket and pocket on the back with this fun tag. tatting all down it. And starts off with this cute Dalmatian picture, and these again are stuffed with ephemera. They're very eclectic, colorful books. Lots of vintage stuff. Little charms, lots of different techniques, lots of authentic vintage ephemera as well as handmade ephemera. They all have Edith Holden in the middle. Yeah, so that's that little one. And this just wraps around a few times and we tuck it. Okay. Then I didn't, I literally am putting all my journals on sale. So I know this is a brand new one. This is my latest journal, actually, the Sweet Spring Adventures. So it's included. I'm doing this for all of them. So probably you may have, if you've been following me lately, you've already seen this book. It's packed with ephemera. It's a spring type eclectic journal, kind of a commonplace book. It's made with my Patreon Journal Together kit for March, and it's got a lot of fun stuff in it. It's really a nice journal. It's quite large. Fabric cover. But yeah, I won't go like super crazy through this one because I just did the flip through, I think maybe a day ago, yesterday. Yeah, I can't remember. I think it was yesterday. Okay. Then the Hungry Caterpillar, this little traveler's notebook. So I made a couple of these and I have this one left, and it's made from Hungry Caterpillar fabric by Eric Carle, and I've stitched some fun leaves on it, these woven leaves. And this is in the same type of format, but it's like eclectic and like a traveler's notebook, you know, with lots of color and vintage things and different things, and just a good thing, a good book to just make a lot of discoveries, little tip outs and vintage photos. This I'll take out. Paintings. That was a Rorschach painting that I did. Edith Holden. Lots of little tabs and buttons and things. Paper bags. Tags and photos. Lots of fun stuff in these little journals. Okay, and then I have this book left. This is the Morticia Addams sketchbook. So this was part of 2 books that I made for a Release the Craft and Design Team project. The other one was a scrapbook and it sold. This one I still have, and I honestly love it so much. I don't know if it sings its presence as loudly as it does in real life on video, and maybe when you're looking at junk journals that are packed with things, this one doesn't sing as much. But I have to tell you, as an artist and as someone who appreciates beautifully dyed paper and just beautiful images from Release the Craft, and just, I really, this paper, this is sketchbook paper, and it has, I don't know if you can hear it, but this book will be a joy for anyone who wants to work in it. Sorry for the little snip, I had to change batteries. So this is paper from Inked Paper Arts, and every now and then you get a Release the Craft in pretty page that's also been dyed on back. But these papers are just, they're so fun. And these are dolls that I illustrated for the book. You'll see there was one back here too. It's Wednesday and the Addams Family. So it's like a Morticia Addams inspired sketchbook, and it's just fun. And then here, I love how the pockets and the cover turned out. And we have, this is Pugsley. And yeah, I really like this book. I think it's a lot of fun, and there's a full flip through of the Morticia It's from the Desk of Morticia Adams video. So you can see both books if you're interested, but this is the only one that I still have. And it's just, I love it. I think it's really cute. I designed these, I illustrated these, and it's like a collage with some fun stitching. So that's that one. And then this one. So this is a little, these 3 journals are stitched together. It's a fun open spine commonplace book. Again, one that I used, one of my monthly journal together kits from my Patreon, and I've gilded the edges of the fabric. This is a really eclectic and fun book, and it's just very full of authentic vintage and you know, handmade interesting things. Really fun paper. Yeah, lots of cool stuff in this book, and it's a sweet little book. It's very small, and I like that it's broken into like 3 little journals. You could do something different in each one if you wanted to. It's colorful. Yeah, lots of dyed papers, children's book illustrations, lots of like little laces and things stitched on the side, lots of collaging, fun kind of, you know, unusual images. Stamping, and yeah, so that's that one. And I like it because it's like a little hand-hold chunky little journal. It's so small and cute. Okay. And then this jumbo journal. So this is pink buttons. And I was inspired to make this journal cover and this journal in general by this collection of vintage pink buttons. So this is another commonplace book. It is big. It's like a large traveler's notebook. It's really big. And this is my own dyed fabric on the back, and has a little writing board there, a little book called The Moth is Born. And this also uses a ton of my own illustration and design and vintage stuff. Another commonplace book. I used paper dolls from Miles Beyond the Moon in this book. It's an old insurance envelope. It has obviously a pink tone to it with blues and other colors, but it definitely has a pink vintage kind of feel, eclectic feel. Made lots of interesting ephemera. Yeah, it's got so much cool stuff in it. That chunky rabbit, that sweet sheep, freeform pockets, and that's yarn, hand spun yarn, envelope. And this is the back. It's like a little accordion folder, and it's got more ephemera inside. So yeah, this book was really fun to make, and I hope it goes home with someone who would have fun with it, because it's a fun book. Okay. What else? Oh, I have one of my Sidewinder books left. So I made these quite some time ago. I made quite a few of them, and I just have the one left. These were very popular at a market that I did. People, I think, really got a kick out of them in person, because you can kind of experience the book better than you can on video. So it's 2 books. See, they go 2 ways. So you've got this book that opens this way, and these are quite plain inside. These are earlier in my journal making days where I was making, you know, journals that weren't stuffed with ephemera. They just had interesting pages and cool things in them, but like they weren't stuffed with ephemera. I was more interested with these books in making like an interesting design. So this just comes over here when you want to open this side, and again it's just fun pages. And these have walkthroughs, or sorry, flip through videos as well. I think this one's called the Lily Swan Sidewinder book. If you look up Sidewinder, you'll be able to see it, or if you go to my my Etsy shop, you'll see it there linked in the description of the Etsy listing. I always add my flip through videos so that you can, you know, experience the journal when you go to the listing. So that's that one. And we just have a couple more here, and these ones are actually much simpler. These are just 2 little glue books that I made. So there's a Snow White one here, and there's What Lily Goose Found. And these are just stuffed with like pages from the book and children's book pages, random scrapbook paper. They're very busy because I think, you know, the point is if you like a certain part of the page, you'll leave that and you'll glue up here. So you can just have fun with it. It's got all sorts of different papers. It's much more junk journal kind of style in how I you know, created it, because I wanted it to be, like I wrote here, handmade glue book for gluing your paper treasures and inspirations. So probably my audience here knows more about glue booking than your average person that sees these at a show that I do. But yeah, so that is what is in the shop at 25% off. And, you know, definitely let me know if you have any questions. So this sale will run, no codes required, from April 1st to April 8th. And thank you so much for hanging out with me and checking out what's available. Have a great day. Bye for now.